For centuries, the sport of fox hunting has been practiced throughout the globe. What began in England as a way of ridding foxes from farmlands by using hunters on foot and guided by hounds, over time would become a sport involving specialized breeds of scent hounds trained to hunt a specific quarry. Alongside them are organized and grandly dressed groups of huntsmen no longer on foot, but atop wonderfully skilled horses that are able to clear obstacles and sustain the stamina necessary to keep with the hounds. The key to any successful and organized hunt is the huntsman. The huntsman is responsible for directing the hounds in the course of the hunt. And in the United States, there is no better huntsman than Bill Green. He is also the only African American huntsman teaching the techniques of the drag hunt.
That's where they start mastering right now.
These are the hunting techniques and the story of Bill Green, the Gullah huntsman. In this program, we will learn Bill Green's unique style of training foxhounds and huntsmen and gain knowledge of his methods for drag hunting, which are rooted deep in Gullah history and traditions. The Gullah people are African Americans who live on the Sea Islands and the coastal plains of South Carolina and Georgia. The Gullah tongue is based on English, with very strong influences from their West African and Central African ancestral languages, such as Yoruba, Mandinka, Wolof, and Mende, just to name a few. The Gullah people are known for preserving more of their African heritage than any other African American community in the United States. Bill Green continues to preserve his Gullah heritage by using the knowledge he learned as a boy growing up on James Island, South Carolina, and utilizing these skills to become a master at his craft and a trainer of huntsmen and hounds.
Yeah, I went off to the school, the Coburn, Colorado, and that's when I really started paying attention and gotten involved in a lot of horses and whatnot. And at the same time, being there, we helped build one of the rodeo stadium and down in Coburn. So when we built the rodeo stadium, and I started getting to meet and talking to a lot of the ranchers, and a lot of the ranchers and people around, so I get to familiarize myself with the people and everybody, and I really right quick. A lot of people grasped to me, and where I started being friends. Then next thing I know, I was working on a ranch. Yeah, and being able to work horse, and that's when my riding really started. I mean, at one time, I think it wasn't a horse round that I couldn't put my feet over. But then that's when I become a horseman. That's when everybody look at me as being a professional rider, and some people would say, I got horse whisperer. I could talk to a horse. I could talk to certain animals, and all happened basically is loving, kind, and caring. The first thing you want to do is you could look in on them and make sure that the mama is taking care of them, and she going through the birth real good, and after that you watch them, and then after the pup get 3 days old is when you want to kind of go in there, talk to the mama, and make sure everything all right, and then you want to immediately check the pup out, and by touching them. And the bonding, being able to touch the pup is by hold them in your left hand and being able to run your hand across the whole length of the pup body and across his nose and just rubbing him and doing a couple strokes. And you do it like that until the pup about a week old, when the pup eyes start opening. And also, at that point, you could tell out of a group of pup which one that you got to work with the most. You could tell the one that could be a little bit squeamish, or you could tell that the one that you got to spend more time with, and the one that could be progressive, come right on. By the time the pup's ready to get weaned from your mama ready to give him to you anywhere, because the mama doesn't know that you will take him, and they don't know the pup's done kind of bond to you, because the first thing the pup would start doing when they start getting bond to you, is they will come and start pulling on your shoestring. And generally, by the time they start pulling on your shoestring, usually about the time you start training them and messing with them with a drag. When they start like to pull on things and grab things and run around and pull, then you start with them little pups. And you have just a towel, and you really don't have to have no sand on it. Just a towel on a string and put something colorful there. And just put them out and wag them in front of me. They like to play it. And day by day, you go there and play it back and forth. And they just get used to running just the center of that towel here and there, back and forth. And you work with them until they're about 8 to 9 weeks old. Then you start doing like you put like a drop of the fox scent. You introduce them, you water them down, and you just put that kind of curious joy to it, like they're always like to say. And I put a little on them, and when they smell that, oh, that's so curious, and they all want at them, and they just start going at them and grab the rag and shake at them. And that's the natural instinct coming out of them the minute they smell that scent. But the most important thing is, once you get them started, you got to keep work with them, and you keep work with them. And we work with these pups until they get up about, when they said about 12 to 14 weeks old, you could go out, take them literally, walk them out, and lay a line like a quarter of a mile long through the woods, and you can walk them little joke on them, and when they hit that scent, they're gone. What them two there, they love the drag. Up, see, that's something. That's something how they go in between the legs and whatnot, and Dixie know them. She know these pups, so she real particular, and she won't step on them. She's one of the best trainer, and she about 25 years old now, and she done trained a whole heap of pups. And we gonna get ready to take them out roading, and gonna take them on maybe a 2 mile. They're at the age right now I could take on a 2 mile roading, and they'll come back, still got a lot of energy in them.
Rodent means taking the pups out into the woods to get them familiar with nature. It teaches them how to navigate through thick brush and other obstacles, but more importantly, it's their first lesson on working together as a team with the huntsman and the horse. This is what trainers call packing.
And the pups right now are 4 months old, and they're learning how to handle themselves in the woods, going back and forth through the woods and rowing and packing right with you. That's the same place you see them side the horse now. That's the place they have when they're adult, when they're riding.
At this stage, the horn is also used to train the pups.
The key to having a horn is basically, is always starting from when they pup. When you first start going in the pen and feeding them, you always blow the horn and let them know you're coming. And the horn is more like rally. It's more like when you blow the horn, it's like, come here, like calling. Yeah, this horn here was passed down for probably right in between 35 and 36 years old. This horn is. And I got this horn from Jack Goes, one of the German guy, the guy that really helped talk to me about really doing the drag, and one of the first guy that I ever did a drag for on the hunt. And
this is when you were a young boy?
Yeah, that's when I was a young fella, right in, and not quite 20 yet, probably there, and I started. And he gave me the horn. I said, man. So I said to Jack, I said, well, if I'm out way out in the woods, and y'all need to find out where I'm at, how you gonna know where I'm at? How you gonna know this and that? Oh, he said, well, I'll give you a horn. You ain't supposed to have no horn, but I give you a horn.
Hounds learn different horn signals. Different calls on the horn are used to locate lost hounds and in times of distress. It is also used to start and end a hunt.
From 6 months to almost a year, to 6 months to 10 months, that's when you think you're loving and caring them. The hunting part, they pretty much done got that. The disciplining time come when that, and that's when they get into the moody stage. That's when you can never straddle them. That's when it's real vital when you go to deal with them. Blow your horn, let them know you coming, and get them coming to you, and get them looking in your eye and dealing with them. Doing that and all that kind of stuff. Because if you straddle them sometime at the edge, it'll spook them, and that'll be in them for life.
Blanking is the technique of training your hounds as a pack by moving them safely and accurately through the woods. Blanking your hounds is the most important aspect of training your pack. Remember, you are training your hounds to locate your handmade fox scent recipe and not an actual live scent found in the woods, such as a deer, raccoon, coyote, and of course a live fox.
That's what you call blanking. And you can't, you really can't hunt a pack of hounds until you can blank them through the woods and keep them from breaking on you, making sure that they all kind of find the line together. And when I'm strike on a line, you call the whole pack.
All right, hunt him up to your right. 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 Find him to your right. Find him to your right.
See, and they're learning hunt to your right and hunt to your left.
Find him to your right. Find him to your right.
And that's where you want them to.
Notice how the hounds keep their noses down, searching and learning to find a scent. When blanking, there is no actual drag or line being used, so if a hound reacts to a scent, you quickly teach them not to follow. You want them to hunt your special fox recipe. Bill will teach you the tricks of laying a line in the next lesson. Blanking also begins the process of building your team. Bill often uses the analogy of a football or a basketball team. Here's a diagram. The huntsman is the captain or coach using the horn and a series of calls and commands to hunt the hounds. Whip-ins assist the huntsman. Whip-ins should never give specific commands to the hounds. The pack is led by the huntsman only. Their main job is to keep the pack all together and preventing the hounds from straying or hunting other animals. To help control the pack, they carry hunting whips that are never used on the hounds. The whips are cracked to get the hounds' attention only.
Come to me. Come to me.
What you are seeing here is a great example of how Bill Green's training techniques are very effective. These hounds are only a few months old and already obeying the huntsman's commands for locating the scent. This is very rare for hounds so young, thus demonstrating how Bill's beliefs of patience, love, and kindness always works best.
Pack in here, pack in here, pack in here, pack in here.
Boys and girls, let's pack in. Come on, Miss Lauren.
Somebody always got to stay ahead of you. You got a full circle. You always want somebody at the head of you on two sides and you from behind. Somebody got to get way up ahead of you, and that will really keep you from breaking up. They take off, you can catch them on all corners. All right, that's a really good thing. The hunter and the staff will play a big part of this whole thing, of this whole drag system work and be successful, and everybody enjoy and have a good time. The first time I really understand and saw a fox hunt was when I was a young fella and working on the farm, and I used to go over to a place on James Island you call Lawton Bluff, and I used to go to the Lawton house. The old lady called Lydia Lawton, and we used to go there on Friday night and hang around and sleep there. And for there early in the morning, you hear a bunch of hounds round around the house, and you peep out, you push the old wooden window open, and you peep out the window, and you see all these people, some people on horses and stuff, and hounds all around the house and whatnot. And then you look around, and you look down the floor, and down there by the chimney, where the chimney at, had a hole where the fox used to come underneath the house and come inside the house to get away from the hounds. And that's the first time I ever know really about fox hunting. And oftentimes you find a fox usually live near a hound pen. A lot of pens that the fox hunting pens, fox usually live close to them. They stay close to them, and they'll watch the hound, and they'll know every time they take the hound off. And once they get used to running and playing with the hound, they will know when the hound going out, and he'll go out and go out and lay his line and bounce around, and he'll come back to his stump, and he sit there, and when they put that pack of hounds on him, they be running like going crazy, and that fox sitting right there watching and laughing with everybody else until the hound start coming back near the horse. Then he'll jump off and go off by himself, but they love to run.
Although it's called drag hunting, Bill prefers to use the fox scent or urine laid by using a spray bottle on horseback instead of dragging a scent-covered cloth or fur through the woods. His many years of observing and pretending to be a fox, he finds this method works best than being on foot or using mechanical methods attached to a saddle. The spray bottle shoots the urine away from the horse's hoof, ensuring that the hounds are following the fox scent. Moving through the woods and spraying a line of scent in random droplets or leaving heavier scent markings makes for a more exciting hunt. But remember, you have to start using your recipe when the pups are very young and raise them up with that recipe. Make sure you dilute the scent to a very light odor when training the pups and slowly increase the strength over time, and never use the scent full strength. A hound's nostrils are hundreds of times more sensitive to smell than humans, and you can harm the hounds.
One of the most important things when you're working with them is you always got to make sure it's hot, it's warm. Even though when you work with the pups, everything got to be warm. It's kind of signal that they're dealing with something live and fresh, and it's something that I smell right now. I want it. When it's cold, they got a whole new different feeling. You have to make sure your scent has to be warm, and you have to have your formula together.
When mixing your recipe with hot or warm water, you'll have to determine the weather and the wind before the hunt. The ideal conditions is 30 to 40 degrees and no wind. This allows the scent to settle in one spot and not drift about. If it's a rainy day, you'll need to use glycerin in your recipe. This will keep the scent from washing away too quickly. If it's a windy day, you'll have to determine the wind drift and run the hounds on a shorter course.
And hounds like this, you treat them good, they know where they're part at and where they're strong at. Some of them strong enough to stay up to the front, and some of them strong enough to stay in the middle, some of them will stay in the back, and they'll make just as much noise and feel comfortable where they're at. Let them do all of that. Let them figure out who could be in the front, who could be in the back, who could be in the middle, or who could, the whole 9 yards. They have to learn that themselves, because they'll learn and grasp that real early. And then also the hound will pick out certain leaders that they wouldn't mind follow. And a lot of gyps usually be the leaders. A lot of gyps, for some reason, they would be the leader. They would learn faster, they'd pick up faster. But once them old males get together and they start working, they'll work alongside them.
Have fun when laying your line. Think like a fox and add tricks and change your route or course so that the hounds never run from memory. Let them use their natural instincts to give you the feeling of a live hunt. And remember, horseback riding is a dangerous sport. Never lay your line in front of jumps or other obstacles that may cause a rider, horse, or hound to be hurt. Through trial and error, you'll figure out what works best for your hunt, especially if your huntsmen and staff know the course or woods very well.
Next thing too, very important that the pack know their fox. That's a very important thing. Like them, they all know me. And that's so excitement, man, is when they all know you and they raise up with you from pup and you go out there and lay that line and perform and lay the line. They know that I laid a line and they run up, come up to the fence after the deal over and look at you and say, yeah, we almost catch you, Ernie. You know, because it's a special kind of music, it's a special kind of time, and each one of the hounds got different kind of mouth. Some of them got heavy mouth, some of them got light. They got all different kind of tunes. They got different kind of chop, fussy, all different kind. But when it all come together, they make that fresh and clean music that you can't find nowhere else. It's real vital that your whooping and your staff know the runs too, and for they to put on a good show. We know we're doing fox hunting, right, but we doing fox hunting as the best way that you could ever do a fox hunt without hurting the animal itself, and everybody having fun. The hounds having fun, the horse having fun, because once them animals learn how to do that, you can't tell them no different. Once a horse learn how to hunt and work with that, you can't tell them no different.
Taking the time to train your hounds and staff the Bill Green way will guarantee the perfect hunt. The historic Middleton Place Hounds Hunt Club knows this to be true. For over 3 decades, Bill Green has trained their hounds and hunt staff. And leading the hunt at Middleton Place is Jamie Green, Bill Green's son. Riders enjoy a challenging and picturesque ride throughout the grounds of the Middleton Place plantation. So let the hunt begin. There are only a small few African American huntsmen working in America today, and 3 of them are Bill and his 2 sons, Jamie and Bubba.
I can still sit here and remember times when I got left at the house, and I had a tricycle, little red tricycle, probably could be no more than 4 years old, and every time I got left at that house, I would ride that tricycle 5, 10, sometimes 15 miles in that woods. If dirt got too soft, I'd leave the tricycle and start walking. and I would find them. And I would find them.
But that's how the Jamie start now. I used to wonder, I mean, we way down in the woods, but know how that little boy, you could see the little boy look like a mile away, something to move in the woods. Wonder what that in that road down here on the coming, miles away. And the closer he get, boy, you better go check and see who that is. But I got the Jamie, the baby to come in the wall. The cry trying to find y'all. So Jamie been trying to track me for years, but
So I guess that passes on to the, look here,
Yeah.
we doing the drag hunt. I still trying to track you, can't catch you.
yeah. And Baba Oshi just do the same thing. Oshi I thought Oshi would have stayed in the ride too. Oshi was one little tough little young girl. Father riding and training the hound. Oh man, she was real strict on training the hound. Certain do's and don'ts
Yeah.
about the hound. Oh man, I know I had guys that been training. I was working with Kurt Crookie and them been training the hounds. And when they're at a certain age, your lead broke them, but there's a certain way you handle them and a certain way you pull on them. And man, many days I had to take Oshi out there. She raised some can because she feel like they wasn't handling the hound certain ways. And them older people come out, you know, and I talking to them about how they walk around, and they walk around with the hound and they're doing something she don't like. Oh man, she tell them like this. Then back at that days, my days with the puppy was real easy, because the minute that mama dropping, boy, she'd be the first one. And sometimes I go there, the mama on one side in the box, laying on one side, or she one place, and the puppy, they're all sleeping in the box.
Yes,
That was something. They're all right there in the box. You hunt for Oshi at night, they right there with our mama.
Right there with the mama. You know, when we were kids, we always joked, Baba had the ears and I had the eye.
Yeah.
And you know, I could see things right off top, but Baba could hear them. And Baba always taught me how to listen to the hounds, to judge the movement. Listen to the hounds, to judge the movement. And off of deer driving, how we did drive our horses, he could be able to judge that deer and judge them hounds the right way where that deer can cross. The stander can get a shot. He's out of the way and then be on top to stop them hounds.
The key to this is I'll raise them up as a pup, instill certain things in them. And when I pass him over Jamie got that extra love. We'll take him over to adult. But Jamie ended up being so great and being able to generate that love into their pack. And I watch him and watch the hound work, and it's so amazing. I could go out and play a little game, do little tricks. And it's so much yet to come, because he at this point and got the hound at this point. And I think he got the hound at a point that even me, every day, learning something new, because I always knew that the hound was that smart and they could act and they could work like that. But I couldn't push it, I couldn't get it in that position, because I had to have the right connection, the right driver, and the right staff to be able to get it. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing what we've been able to do with this pack, and it's so much more to come, how smart they really is. And it's something great to be able to live side nature and see how it all works.
I like to say, mainly when I express to people what I do for a living as being a professional fox hunter, I usually throw them for a while. They're like, black guy, fox hunting? You know, that's something that's always been in our heritage from Africa, as being huntsmen, as being hunters to protect and provide for the tribe, the village, and whoever it will be. You know, even in early pictures, as you see with Washington, he brought some of the first hounds over. The first rider in front of him was a black man with a horn. You know, that's something that needs to get shown out to our heritage. You know, they need to know. You know, that's something we need to keep on going, and a tradition and a heritage. Learn your Gullah heritage and learning where you come from. And it's a blessing to have that all passed down from the great Gullah King, Mr. Bill Green.
And much, much, much appreciation goes to our wonderful fox, who we are not going to let retire. Come on, you gotta go down and kiss everybody.
Oh, all right, all right.
Congratulations.
Big kisses, kid.
All right.
Miss Maggie.
Miss Maggie.
I'm sorry. Oh,
I'm gonna get in the line.
good man.
Friend of mine.
Friend of mine.
All right, brother.
Friend of mine. Friend of mine.
Friend of mine.
All right.
How do you have a few words?
Bill Green
on.
is certainly an expert
Good
at
fella.
raising and training foxhounds, but he's more than that. He is a man that respects his Gullah roots and culture, and is vital for all of us who love the woods or the hunt to follow Bill's one philosophy. Always put love, kindness, patience, and caring in all things you do, even when raising hounds. For more information about historic Middleton Place, visit www.middletonplace.org.
Without the hound, you can't make them. See? And but with the hound, then we could put all the icing on the edge, and that joker just as sweet as gold, man. So
You also got to rely the staff. Your staff comes a little almost before your well-being.
Yeah, your staff
It's a-
before the huntsman.
It's almost like you lead into it's your horse, your hounds, then your staff, because you got to have that confidence in the steed. You got to have your horse to have that same connection, or even more than the hounds.
Well, the
See,
hound.
you and your horse usually mainly have to be on, like me and my horse, Doc, on the same page. You know, when I think about it, he already got it in his mind. Yeah, that's what we gonna want to do.